Hey, AfterBuzzers. If you didn't know, it's Kevin Undergaro, the executive producer of AfterBuzz, along with my partner, Maria Menounos.
Hi, everybody.
And Maria and I, as you know, have put so much time and money into the AfterBuzz TV product and really haven't seen a lot in return.
Nope, not yet.
But one of the ways you guys can actually help us is by tuning into our new reality show, Chasing Maria Menounos. It premieres Tuesday, March 18th, 10 o'clock, 9 p.m. Central, and features me and Maria basically bickering, fighting.
No, it's not just bickering and fighting. You get an inside look into my life, behind the scenes.
You'll also get a behind-the-scenes look at AfterBuzz.
It's really funny. It's not just bickering, and it's not fake either. So that's actually something
no.
to think about.
Definitely not fake. It's definitely not fake. But please tune in to Chasing Maria Menounos on Oxygen, Tuesday, March 18th at 10 p.m. All of your support will help AfterBuzz because Maria certainly won't.
So rude.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Lindsay After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Lindsay After Show.
Oh, a little throwback music.
Perfect.
Does anybody remember what year this Rumors song came out?
I think 06.
Yeah, I
want to say 06. I
like
think I was
07-ish.
pretty sure the junior, so it was 06, 07.
There you go. Back when
a while
Lindsay's
ago.
pop career was at her prime
She had a really good pop career, though. She did.
for like a week.
Yeah.
I mean, this song still lives on my iPhone, so it's still alive and well.
Good to hear. All right, well, my name is Kylie Hodges, and you are watching AfterBuzz TV's After Show for Lindsay on OWN, Episode 1. And to my left,
Hello, everyone. Grant Rutter.
Hi, everybody. I'm Francisco Thurston.
and the DJ in back is our lovely engineer, Roya. Thanks for spinning the tunes.
I'm dancing.
Yeah, she's grooving.
Of course. Who can sit still with that?
So after a tumultuous, 10 years, let's just say it's been a rough 10 years for Lindsay Lohan. She's finally making a comeback, although I feel like she's attempted comebacks before, but this one seems like it's a solid comeback. And Oprah Winfrey was kind enough to step in and say, hey, let's document it. And so now here we are with the Lindsay docuseries on OWN.
Kind of the last, I can't say last, but an important moment for her that this goes well.
Mm-hmm. Like they said on the
This is
show,
it.
I mean, if you screw up with Oprah, you can't really go you can't go back from that.
This is
The
it.
fan says, a fan says in the show, the biggest problem I think is going to be people taking Lindsay seriously. You said that she has tried to come back a bunch of times, but now is like, we're going to have to try and take her seriously now. So this is going to be her chance to prove everybody wrong.
Absolutely. So initial thoughts, what did you guys think?
We'll start with you.
Lindsay has been my favorite train wreck for the past 10 years because I love Lindsay and I love watching her movies and a fan of hers, and I love seeing her grow up. I grew up with her kind of as well. I think we all kind of grew up with
We're
her
all
movies.
in that general
generation
of Lindsay Lohan.
And we've seen her lowest moments, we've seen her biggest moments. So it's nice to see, an inside scoop on Lindsay's life as she's recovering and trying to get better.
See, I'm a huge fan of The Family, and I loved Living Lohan, which was an awful reality show.
I was going to ask, I believe they had a reality show.
How many
it was
seasons
great.
Was it? It was only one.
Okay.
And it was, I think, 10 episodes, and Lindsay wasn't even, she was on the last episode in a phone call on speakerphone. So it wasn't anything like this. But I love The Family, and I love Dina the most, the mother. To me, she is the star of the show. And so I can't get enough of them. But when it comes to her, I always liked Lindsay, and I kind of feel a little differently towards her after this.
How so?
Well, we can get into it later on, but I just kind of feel like, I don't know, she's not the Lindsay I thought she was. The image has changed a little bit.
Interesting.
She's not tarnished, but I have a different perspective on her.
Well, I think that they're doing pretty effectively, and the goal with this show is to make her look like she's human.
Yeah.
And it helps that Oprah steps in. I mean, I feel like if you're going to screw up in life and you need redemption, like, let Oprah take you under her wing.
She's the one.
Oprah fixes stuff. Oprah's a fixer and a giver.
You get a new life, and you get a new life.
Exactly. She's basically doing that for Lindsay. So, I mean, the episode starts off where Oprah meets with Lindsay just 4 days after getting out of rehab, and they have a little chat before an interview, which, I mean, this was still on camera, so that was an interview to an interview.
That interview came out a long time ago. I forgot most of it, but they played back the big points, the big, are you an addict? You know, what are you going to do next? And of course, leading into the show. But that was about it. I mean, they cut out a lot of stuff, but that was the big stuff.
Yeah. But, you know, I didn't see the interview, but I mean,
neither.
It's Oprah, so she doesn't really beat around the bush. So I trust that it was effective.
I expected Lindsay to come out more with when Oprah asked her, what are you addicted to? And I felt like she kind of copped out when she just said alcohol, because I think there's more to the story than just alcohol. We know Lindsay was on many other things.
Yeah. And she's been arrested for drug possession, and
she should have. I felt like
I tried to write them all down.
Oh yeah, I know. They were like,
and I lost track. I got DUIs, theft, lying to a cop, going to rehab 6 times.
And there was a lot violating probation too.
Yeah, violating probation. There were so many. I was like, I can't keep up.
No, I mean they had different slides for the different years full of information.
So from 2007 to 2013 has been a little rough.
She wasn't clear. She wasn't, honest, open and honest. And if she's on that road to redemption, I felt like I was addicted to cocaine, blah, 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 Don't just say alcohol. It was kind of a cop-out for me.
Well, if you're going to make a comeback, you got to lay all your cards out on the table.
And it's Oprah, too.
Here's the thing with the Lohans. I don't feel like any of them ever really own up and take responsibility for really anything. And so she's kind of learning this and kind of saying these things for the first time with Oprah. I feel like always in the press, Dina would say, if she lived in New York, half the charges she wouldn't be charged with. They instead of looking at the big picture, they make a lot of excuses. And so she's, of course, with trying to be this new girl, trying to, learn this. And so it's going to be a mix of both. But for her, with that interview, she really should have said to me, obviously, she was doing hard drugs.
Yeah. Now, it kind of seems like you're a little bit of an expert on the Lohan family. I mean, I do
love them.
She has her mom, Dina, who's been in the tabloids for having issues of her own. Michael Lohan, same thing. I thought, isn't he dating a woman that's like the same age as Lindsay? Or he used to?
I think they were.
And they were both addicts. Like, he's been to rehab, I think, right?
I don't know.
I know that he's had his because I remember there was what was it called, Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like either he was on it or the woman he was dating was on it.
I think the chick he was dating was on it.
She was young, right?
Yeah, I remember now.
Like, it's all...
And doesn't he have... I believe he has a stepdaughter who got surgery to look like Lindsay.
What?
Well, I have to... allegedly.
That's people. Come on.
Allegedly. I'm almost positive, but I'll have to do some research and come back.
That bothers me. And then she has her sister Allie, who I guess now is a model. That's news to me. And then she has her brother, and I'm blanking on his name.
Cody.
He looks like a little 17-year-old skateboarder. I don't know what his story is.
She has another brother too, Michael, who remains away from the spotlight because he just wants to. He played lacrosse and he played a few games at a school that I went to, but that was about it. I mean, he really doesn't. He's not out there in the public eye, and he wants to stay away from all of them, I guess.
Oh, so he doesn't talk to the family?
Well, I don't. I just think he doesn't want to be in the public eye with them. He's not going to post her pictures with his mother and father and stuff like that.
Good for him. I mean, can you blame him? I mean, his sister has to do a freaking documentary series just to tell people that she's normal.
You can tell.
Yeah, if I was a sibling of a celebrity, I don't think I'd want to be in their spotlight. I would want to share their spotlight. I just want to be normal.
No, I wouldn't. I would steal it.
Yeah.
There's no sharing involved.
Yeah, I guess depending on what I was doing, but if I was, the lacrosse player, I'd be like, I'm gonna chill.
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been very hard growing up with your sister being Lindsay Lohan, because imagine like going to high school, say you're younger than her and she's, at her worst point and you're like 14 years old.
Yeah.
You're gonna get teased and everybody's gonna know your business, and that's like the hardest stuff to know.
Well, Cody, I mean, he's younger than her. Michael's actually older than her, so it could almost even be worse. That's your little sister. sister who's being thrown out there like that. But then Cody, you could tell he didn't want to be on the cameras. He was really trying to give her a quick hug, and that was it.
Boom, 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 done.
I'd be all over that. I'd be going to the boxes. I'd fight with the mother.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's I guess it just shows to all of us that when one person is a celebrity, it's throwing the whole family in the mix.
Yeah.
Because when you're documented, then other people know your business.
For sure.
So I thought it was very, I don't want to say nice because it's not nice, but eye-opening to see that, Lindsay's a human being who has to clean out her closet just like I do. Although, my God, does that girl have stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I thought my little closet in West Hollywood was bad, but she has buildings of stuff.
Just huge boxes.
All across America.
You know how much that's going to cost to ship all that furniture?
She got the money.
Just get rid of it and start fresh.
Give half the money to a charity, pocket the other half, and use it to buy furniture in New York. I mean, that's too much work.
Donate your clothes.
Just donate it. I'll take that weird blue cape thing you were wearing.
Shield.
And the dress right on the mannequin that came right out of the box.
She was like, this is in a box? What?
And how funny is it that we're having these moments where we're like, oh, Lindsay's a person just like me. She has a mom who loves her, and her mom drives her nuts just like everybody else probably feels about their mom at some point. And then Lindsay's apartment hunting, and she realizes that her dress is blowing up in the wind, so she just quickly walks into a store and buys a brand new outfit. Like, most people live on a budget, just can't do things like that. So it's just a funny little reminder of, oh yeah, she's not that normal of a person.
Yeah, she's a normal person. She doesn't live a normal lifestyle.
No, exactly.
She just doesn't.
She still struggles with things like we do, but she has much more access to things.
Yeah. We saw a flashback, of all her past career, her big moments, Freaky Friday, Mean Girls. And I thought to myself, we see a lot in Hollywood with young actors being young actors and growing up in the spotlight and being celebrity. Do you think that is an attribute to why she kind of spiraled out of control, like having fame too soon, like as a young kid?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't help
I feel like
things.
it's a typical Hollywood child star situation. I mean, look at Danny Bonaducci or
Amanda
everybody.
Bynes.
Amanda Bynes. I mean, I feel like if you're or Shia LaBeouf. I mean, that poor guy.
Deep end.
Yeah. It's like, I wonder what parents, if you're a parent of a child who's working in Hollywood right now, I really want you to write on our YouTube comments or call in or do whatever, because do you really think that this is going to make your child turn out normal? I mean, I understand if you have a talented child, but how do you control such a crazy environment when your kid is so exposed and easily manipulated?
Well, that's it. I mean, it's a really dangerous
Drew
business.
Barrymore is a perfect example of that. She was in rehab at 13 for alcoholism.
Yeah.
What?
just had access. Sorry, Lindsay just had access to anything she wanted. As she had success at a young age. Parent Trap. Big star, and then Freaky Friday. She just had that access to young Hollywood parties. People know who she is.
Yeah.
She's drinking at 16, whatever.
Yeah, when you're in these environments where it's a lot of adults doing adult things, I think they kind of forget that there is a kid there, and so you're forced to grow up very quickly, and it's really easy to get people to say yes to you.
I mean, look, it's a vicious business. She was at that lingerie shoot, and according to her, they basically lied to her. I mean, it's just it's an evil place. And it can be very ugly.
Yeah. I do want to touch on that in a minute. But first, I want to point out when we did see the flashbacks, did anybody notice the evolution of Lindsay's face throughout the...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Are you saying she might have got some work done?
Oh,
yeah. Well, I
are you saying
those
that?
lips changed?
No,
and
the nose,
and the
too.
nose.
The last photo, it showed her with kind of a sandy blonde hair, and it was very straight and long. She looked like Jennifer Aniston with a Michael Jackson nose.
She did have a different nose in that picture.
And her nose doesn't look like that now, so I'm confused. Did she take it off and put on a new one? How did it get like that?
Oh God.
I don't know. I liked that montage though, but
it was
really cool.
Interesting to see. She was such a cute little girl. When I was a little girl, I really liked her because I have a lot of makeup on right now, so you can't really tell, but I have a lot of freckles.
Get out of
And
here.
so I couldn't, like, I didn't like my freckles, but Lindsay Lohan got famous.
She
and I was
owns
like,
it.
She has freckles. And, like, I had
yeah.
red hair when I was a little kid, and she had red hair, and I was like, wow, redheads are cool.
Yeah.
Freckles are cool. You go, girl.
Team redhead.
So I thought Lindsay was cool growing up. So it kind of makes me sad to see that she has changed herself. But her hair color now, I think, looks great.
It's awesome.
I don't know how much of that hair is her actual hair, but
I think she looks good. When she had those big shades on and that green outfit, I thought she looked real good.
yeah, I think Roya was asking me before the show how she looked, and I said I was impressed by how good she looked. She didn't look like...
She looks healthy.
Yeah, she looks like she put on moisturizer in that morning. Like, I feel like a lot of pictures of her in the tabloids where she's clearly, like, been struggling. It's like, girl, you look like you haven't slept in a month. And
Well, you know who got ready for the cameras was Dina. She had that dress on,
Yeah,
the hip,
she was-
professional, done. She knew that the Oprah cameras were going to be in her house.
Yeah, and she played very, oh, you didn't tell me the cameras were...
I look so good. I wrote down a fan comment. He says that, or one of the girls said that she was a fan of Lindsay before, she fell off the deep end. Why do you think people stop being fans of celebrities when they fall off the deep end? Because I've always loved Lindsay regardless of how much of a mess she's been, but I feel like, why do people get to that spot of where they don't support someone even though they're talented?
Well,
That's a great question.
I had a similar situation with Britney Spears. Like, I loved her as a kid. And then when the whole head shaving incident happened, I kind of backed away and was like,
What made you feel that way?
And I just kind of thought that it was a lost cause and that I kind of wanted, I guess it was like immature of me, but I wanted to like hold on to the memories of the good old days of the Oops, I Did It Again and the VMAs and all that stuff. And just kind of was like, ooh, she's just going to like end up, someone's going to find her dead someday. Like, and I kind of distanced myself.
Do you think it's also like relatability?
Yeah.
Like, I cannot relate to somebody that has so much money and so many drug problems that they can do whatever they want. I mean, that's just... I've never been in that situation, and I always like, when I say that I like a celebrity, it's A, because I enjoy their work and I find them talented, and B, because I envision that I would love to take them to happy hour and it would be fun to hang out with.
Okay.
So, somebody that I really could see myself being friends with is who
I think she'd
admire.
be fun at happy hour.
Yeah, Lindsay would be fun at happy hour for 5 minutes, and then it would get really awful really fast.
I think so too.
So you would have a sip of your drink and then peace out before it gets bad.
Yeah.
So that's how I always see it.
Yeah.
Like, I do another AfterBuzz show for a show on HBO called Looking, and the character Doris is played by Lauren Weedman, and she's like the coolest woman ever. I follow her on Twitter. She retweets us, and like she seems like the coolest chick ever that I would love to hang out with for a day. So that's why I'm a fan of her.
So I can see that's why fans would not want to, support her anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I mean,
is
how
your
many-
reasoning for staying? by her
I
side?
I think if you believe in someone's talent, I think we all in life have our things that, our demons that we all have to deal with. And we're not in the spotlight, so no one gets to see our struggles. No one gets to see what we go through. And to think if my people or supporters didn't want to support me anymore because I was going through a dark phase, it's like, why would someone stop supporting someone because of that, So it's interesting to see why fans would not want to support her.
On the other side of that, though, I mean, she's been given so many different chances and opportunities and so many stints in rehab that someone could just be burned out by that.
True. I mean, yeah, she's been through, a lot of times in rehab. And
6 times in rehab? Like,
6
that's, it kind of made me laugh out loud a little bit because I was like, really?
Yeah.
The 6th time? And it's just now maybe working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see why people would not want to, continue supporting. But if you're a true Lindsay supporter, good for you for not,
I think we got our biggest Lindsay fan right
giving
now.
up on your girl.
I can appreciate that. You're sympathetic. I think that's what it shows.
There's different people. I have compassion. I know people go through things. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not like, oh my God, Lindsay, but I do support her work. And I'm glad she, is coming to a good spot in her life.
You know what I really liked was when she was going through those storage units, that her organizational skills are just as awful as mine. Like, you would think she could have paid somebody to organize all those boxes of stuff.
Yeah.
But instead it was like she took costume jewelry from the 3rd grade and threw it in a box of Jimmy Choos.
That would give me such anxiety. Like, I live lean. I live lean just because I don't ever want to get to that point where I have to spend a day going through my own stuff.
Yeah.
I would hate that.
Yeah. It was it gave me anxiety just watching it.
Yeah, that was a big task.
Yes.
I feel like she I throw things in boxes too. I sometimes don't know where things are, so I can feel her just throwing things together.
So then after she's cleaning out the storage unit, she heads to New York to her mom's house, which it looks like Dina's living comfortably in Long Island.
Allegedly,
And
because
she
that
wants-
house has been in and out of foreclosure
Oh, really?
allegedly
Oh, that's
multiple times.
Really sad.
Lindsay's gonna live in an apartment while her mom's living in this like nice house.
Well, wasn't Lindsay and her mom living in what's the hotel in Hollywood that she owes all that money to?
Chateau Marmont.
Chateau Marmont. Like, and they kicked her out because she
Yeah,
owed them
she's
like
banned for life.
$50,000. Yeah.
She's banned for life.
Yeah, and she never paid him. But wasn't her mom living there with her?
I'm
or was
sure.
it just
At
her?
some point, I'm sure Dina flew out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be like the host that just throws around all these like awful judgments, but it kind of sounds like Dina has ridden the coattails of her daughter's success and gotten caught up in.
That's any stage mom, I feel like, who
Yeah.
wants their kid to do really well, you know?
Yeah. You're like the expert on stage moms, right? You do dance.
Yeah,
moms.
dance moms. I mean, it's insane to see how far mothers will go to see their children succeed.
Yeah,
what
they're
they'll
like
say, what they'll
blinded
do.
by it.
And
Yeah.
I feel like Dina, it's definitely, you know, my daughter's famous. I'm gonna be there as much as I can. I'm gonna be in the spotlight as well.
Yeah.
So I can totally see why, you know, Lindsay's mega,
Yeah.
Right.
and Dina wants to be mega
Dina,
too.
Dina tries to get her own reality show about being a momager, and that didn't really go anywhere. Then she went around
It worked
telling
for Kris Jenner though.
that one.
Kris Jenner is
She
a
did it right.
businesswoman.
Yeah.
She's a
Kris Jenner
businesswoman.
did it right.
And then supposedly she told everyone she was a Rockette, and then they couldn't find real like documentation that she was ever part of the Rockettes.
Oh, God.
And then she had that
Fail.
great interview on Dr. Phil.
Fail.
I didn't see it.
Oh, that interview was to die for. If you want to see, I mean,
It was
this
Dina,
woman just her
Dina.
one-on-one, and she would answer any questions straight up. Again, not taking accountability. YouTube that. Look that up. I'm
Wait,
telling
she
you.
wouldn't answer questions?
She really wouldn't.
So
no.
then why was she there?
Well, that's what Dr. Phil was saying. He's like, we came in for an interview. Like, do you want to do it? And she was commenting on his shoes. And if you watch the interview, you know you have to check this
so
out.
weird.
It
All
was
right,
a hot
well,
mess.
Everybody, watch that video.
Do your homework.
Do you guys believe that, you know, Dina is, you know, she said that she was very persistent with Lindsay on her moving to New York, you know, move here, move here, move here, move here. Do you think that, like you said, if Lindsay was living in New York, do you think if she had her support of her family, would she have gone so far off the deep end?
You know, I was just thinking the opposite, that the vibe I'm getting, and maybe I'm making a prediction before we are supposed to make our predictions, but
Whatever.
it kind of seems like Dina could be a pusher, and Michael as well. Like, they are instigators. You know, the
they
kind of
have-
instigation where you have a spoiled child and you don't like punish them properly or like call them out in their when they're in their wrong, and like they instigate by neglecting.
They both have that enabler
Yes.
status to them out there. That's out there, that perception. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm
Yes,
interested to see
maybe.
how this move to New York
Yeah.
will affect Lindsay. And the poor girl just can't get a frickin' apartment.
Yeah.
I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but she did go on an apartment hunt, and she had a broker, and his name was Cash. Now, it's interesting that we're just hearing her side of things on this show about the stipulations with renters insurance or whatever, but I wish that they had done some sort of interview with Cash to get his side of
Yeah, we
the
didn't hear
situation.
from him.
Yeah. Now she was upset because she couldn't get she said she couldn't get renter's insurance, but it's funny because at first she didn't even know what it was, and then she told him she can't get renter's insurance. But has she ever tried? Like, I don't
they were
understand. Is
tacking it on.
Geico gonna say no? You're Lindsay Lohan. We don't want to insure you. I mean, I wonder. She probably is a big liability in their eyes because she
Yeah.
doesn't seem stable. But is there like she literally like called up an insurance company and they were like, nope, we don't want to insure you. You know,
$10 million,
is she being dramatic or
though?
is that a fact that she said that?
I don't know. I mean, it was
Yeah.
a $10 million
But I think,
insurance.
you know what?
I don't
like,
think she wanted it, though.
I have like $1 million car insurance policy, but I pay, you know, like $100 a month or whatever. It's insurance. They use like weird numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm like confused.
I think she was
about-
a little bit. I didn't think she knew what it meant.
No,
I think she
I
heard
don't think
$10
so
million. Oh my God, I can't pay $10 million for insurance. I don't want it. Don't add it. I don't think she understands that,
Yeah.
like what it really means. And she was just kind of like reacting without thinking. think that's the
And
situation.
this kind of goes back to when you're a celebrity, people are yes people to you. They're not as much no people. So I feel like having someone in her life that's firm with her is what she needs. But at the same time, because she's Lindsay Lohan, if you upset her, she could probably just be like, nope, you're not telling me what I want to hear, and push you out. And then the person that was helping her by saying no is gone because it's easy for her to get rid of things.
I don't know if she would take that though. You know, if someone was firm with her, especially if she's paying people. I don't think she's just gonna be like, excuse me.
Exactly.
So
and that's what you need when you're struggling. You need someone to keep you in line.
All right.
And
hard.
I think her what is the name of her assistant?
Matt. Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
He seems so badass. He seems like a secret agent, you know? Like the guy is suited up.
Yeah, he's
And then he gets in a
prepared
cab.
for
ready
her.
for
He's
the
got
gig.
a poker face on. I mean,
Lindsay Lohan's assistant. You gotta be ready for the gig.
he makes things happen.
I love when she was talking to that guy on the roof with the whole lingerie snare, and he was just casually sitting there, but you could tell he was like watching every word that came out of her mouth too. He's so on top of it. I like him, and then all the packing he did. God bless him.
Yeah, you can tell that he's been an assistant before. Like he knows what his role is, and he does not step out of it.
Yeah.
Once he said Steven Tyler, I was like, okay, you're qualified.
Not even Steven Tyler, Prince.
Yeah, that's what I was
that guy
thinking
too.
too. Like, I'm sure Prince probably. By the way, saw him in concert Friday night. If anybody has a chance to see Prince in concert, do it. He like probably does the weirdest stuff. I just picture him. Well, my view of Prince is tainted ever since that Chappelle Show sketch where they play basketball with him, and that's a hilarious sketch. I'm getting
Roy's
so off topic
laughing.
right now. But anyways, Prince would probably be a crazy person to be an assistant for.
Matt says that Oprah is the biggest point in her professional life.
That's who said it. Yes.
I personally, I don't know if I agree. If this docuseries with Oprah is the biggest point in her professional life, I think it's one of her most positive points in her professional life. But I don't agree with it. Do you guys agree that it's her biggest point in professional life?
I agree with your perspective. Not really.
Yeah.
It's a big point now. It's a chapter, but it's not the biggest.
I think it's a make or break point.
Yeah.
And I think that if she does it right, everything will be able to go up from there. But if she does it wrong, there's no going back.
Yeah.
So it may not be the most important point, but it's kind of that teetering edge.
Like it's Oprah and you have Oprah's name attached to you, but I think her biggest moment was, you know, her heydays when she was Mean Girls, Freaky Friday.
Herbie Fully Loaded.
Herbie Fully Loaded.
Yes.
There you go. Those are
Wasn't
rumors.
she Scary Movie 5?
Oh my God, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
she was.
I feel those as her biggest days.
sure.
So I don't know. I think he was.
I think it's
kind
all
of-
perspective on what
perspective.
you consider big.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? The way I view her is I think that someone, maybe her when she's in her 40s or 50s, she'll probably get on a really hot cable show, or she'll have another real hit movie like down the line that will kind of like be a whole different chapter, a whole different part of her career, and maybe balance it out. But for right now, I don't know if she's gonna have that big drive to the top. I think eventually, if she sticks around the game, she might have that big moment again, and she'll reclaim her career. But I don't know right away.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just thought of it in my head. I was like referring back to her heydays, Mean Girls, when she was with her mom. She's unpacking her box. She pulls out the shirt and it says "fetch," and her mom's like, "Fetch? What is that?" She goes, "It's from Mean Girls, duh."
The look on her face was like, oh, my mom is such an idiot.
How dare you not know what fetch is? I love that. So,
I love
I had to
it.
bring
That
that
was
up.
very funny. It's like, come on, Dina, get it together.
Together, girl.
All right. So then after she went to New York, we talked about this premiere or this press tour for the Canyons in London, which it showed the numbers and it only grossed $50,000 in the box office. So the Canyons had a ton of hype because it was supposed to be this edgy film with that porn star James Dean.
Oh, yeah.
And Lindsay, and there was all these articles coming out about it, how it was like this indie film with Lindsay Lohan, and there's like fights on set. I read an article about how the director, who she's paid a compliment to and was very nice to on the show, like apparently they got in like big arguments and stuff on set. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Although when it showed the press tour without Lindsay there, he had said, "I'm a free man." He ended up saying very nice things about her, but when he said that at first, I was like, "Oh, he does not."
Yeah.
That was throwing some shade for sure. So it's, and also the fact that she couldn't go on this press tour just because she needs such stability. She's a baby. She is a newborn.
Yeah.
Yes.
You cannot take a newborn, on a plane. You have to stay home with it. You have to coddle it. You have to keep things consistent because it can't handle that. And that is Lindsay right now.
Yeah.
And how terrifying for, a grown adult surrounded by people and living in a world that is just not on the same page as you.
No.
And then you're having to just relearn life all over again.
And how frustrating is it that she's having to relearn life, and then she's going to deal with, all the bad press that Lindsay was a no-show and she didn't show up and she flaked when it was for her own good. I mean, it must be so frustrating.
I'm glad Oprah said something, though, because I think for her deciding not to go to Venice, not Vienna, my bad, to Venice for the, the premiere and everything, I'm glad Oprah said something in the beginning. She goes, are you ready to go on your trip? Do you think, I think you should rethink this. So I think Lindsay had that thought in her mind. She's like, Oprah's right. I'm not ready to be in that point in my life. The craziness is not good for me. It's not, it's not stable for me. So I'm glad Oprah said that, because had Oprah not said that, I think Lindsay would be, doing the press tour. She would be there.
Now, let me ask you, do you think that she went because it was the great thing for her to do, or is it to kind of appease Oprah and to let her know that she's listening to Oprah? And
why she didn't go?
Good graces, yeah.
I think she listened to her. I think she took
did.
the advice.
And I wonder if her rehab coach had anything to do with that.
Probably.
I mean, he seems like he's a listener and not much of an advice giver.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like he is firm with her, but he's just like a monitor more than anything. But
he needs a makeover. I'm sorry, I don't like I don't like the clothes he had at all. I mean, he was making some good money. Come on, they're coming from passages.
I honestly can't remember what he looked like. He had blondish hair.
Yeah.
No, they could bring him to one of those boutiques for a little bit.
Well, now I'm curious what the starting wages are at Promises in Malibu or wherever she was at.
Cliffside, Malibu.
Cliffside,
they were advertising during the show. They're not stupid. Yep, they had their little local ad.
I'm glad
for this episode, because she looks like she's doing well in this episode. But I wonder if she ever has any breakdowns later on. They all of a sudden their ads are pulled. They're like, nope, we didn't have anything to do with that. Yeah.
I'm glad that she what am I talking about? She says that she didn't keep herself calm in all her craziness. So I'm glad she took that advice, because had she have gone, like I said, I feel like the craziness would have driven her back to that drink that she needed to calm herself down. And
so she ended up at this model photo shoot thing that apparently she agreed to because she's friends with the filmmakers. And I was ready for her to lash out right then and there.
Oh yeah.
So basically what happened was this somebody pitched to her to just do a cameo in a photo shoot, and there was no dialogue. And she gets there and they're like, oh, it's this mini film thing and you're gonna do this in this scene and
dialogue.
And she got out of her element. No, she was not having it. And it's I'm so glad that they're showing all of it. They're making her look good by showing the nice parts of her, but they're not hiding her moments, her little temper tantrums. And so I was trying to decide if that temper tantrum was fueled by her being a recovering addict or her being a babied celebrity.
Babied celebrity.
Yeah.
I
think so.
No drug problem or lack thereof could change her reaction to that, right?
Yeah.
I think that it would just...
It was her ego kind of, I feel like, too. She was like, you're going to have me come into this photo shoot with models and have me, actors try to be a model. I'm Lindsay Lohan. Why am I going to do dialogue with models who are nobody?
And they lied to her, but about what? About a line?
Yeah, they exaggerated things. I think because she's at such an unstable point, any little thing that goes wrong is just like the end of the world to her. And also, I think maybe she just doesn't. Does it kind of seem like she just doesn't want to work? Like she says she does, but she doesn't.
I think she wants to work.
Does she?
I just think it just wasn't the right time to work.
Yeah, because it seemed easy enough. She's talented.
Yeah.
So if you're talented, that should be a piece of cake, right?
I just think her ego got in the way, honestly.
I don't know.
I was very surprised that there was nobody like fighting for her.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I thought a personal assistant was gonna do, but I guess they're more like the lackey.
I think that should have been
She doesn't
like
have, like, a
her
manager?
PR, her manager
Yeah.
handling that type of situation. But
I don't know. I mean, I know she's in this fragile place and she's fighting to reclaim herself, but I just found her, and of course she's needy and all that, but I just didn't find her very likable at the end of this
No, at that
episode.
moment, yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, now she's being a brat.
Yeah, I mean, and I love Lindsay, but I just didn't feel she was very likable in this episode, and I was disappointed more in myself for feeling that way.
I did think it was
You know?
cute and likable though, how it shows her acknowledging the camera crew.
yeah, she was like,
Yeah, but it was cute. You know, there was
Yeah.
little moments where she was interviewing in her mom's house on the staircase, and she kind of like giggled, and like you could tell she was having banter with somebody behind the camera. It was
Yeah.
very candid. Or like the times when she's getting in the car and she's like, "You guys coming?" Like,
yeah.
you know, I work, a lot of us here, we work in TV, and it's nice to show that like there are many other people behind those cameras
yeah.
that make things happen, and it's nice to show the talent giving those people some respect.
Yeah.
Did you like the way it was shot? Did you like the overall?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a very, you know, it is what it is. It's kind of gritty, and it's newsy looking,
Yes.
and that's what it is. It's a documentary series.
Docuseries, yeah.
Some of the out of focus was driving me crazy, maybe because we were watching on a large
But that's
screen.
like the
but I get
grittiness
it.
to it.
But
like,
I get it.
didn't
Yeah.
that make you feel like it was so much more real? Like it wasn't this pre-produced to look like reality kind of thing. Like, okay, well, Lindsay's doing this and we don't know what to expect, so just grab your flip cam and follow her, and you get what you get. I loved that. It made me feel like I was really in the moment, and this was 100% real.
The moment that was the realest for me when she was talking about how like eventually there'll be a time, and she says where there'll be no more talking, only positive things being said.
I wrote that down. She's a great outlook.
Yeah, it's just like can we not talk about all of this
Yeah.
like recovery anymore? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that would be such a big moment.
Yeah.
I hope for her it comes.
I
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
a big thing of why she got so upset about that whole photo shoot, she mentions even with Cash, she does not like being lied to. And she refers back to that dealing with her dad, you know, growing up being younger, and, you know, her dad lying to her and breaking
daddy
that
issues in
trust.
there for
Daddy
sure.
issues, breaking her trust. So I feel like when people lie to her, they break her trust, and
That
she goes
triggers.
back to that spot, and she's just like, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that could also, you know, trigger that, and then her maybe she has an ego. I'm not gonna try to hide that.
No.
She's Lindsay, so it all just kind of.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think that this is going to be a really great series, and I'm excited to see what happens. Obviously, from the teaser at the end of the episode, there's some drama that goes down.
Yeah.
Her sober counselor questions her sobriety, so obviously something dramatic.
Yeah.
Relapsing could happen. So we'll see, and we'll see Oprah. I can't even talk, guys. It's late. She puts down her iron fist.
Yeah,
That'll
she
be
actually in one of the previews in an interview, she goes, "You need to cut the shit."
Yeah.
Like Oprah said, you need to cut the shit. But before we
Don't mess with Oprah.
I remember in the episode Lindsay was talking about when she was in jail. I just want to ask you
yeah,
guys.
yeah. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah. Do you think that, you know, she was like, why wasn't the judge trying to help me out? She was just trying to punish me, make an example of me, keeping me in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
I think that she's just being the victim. I think the judge should have kept her in there. It's like her kind of like, you know, you're breaking the law. You're Lindsay Lohan, but you're breaking the law. I'm going to punish you like I punish anybody else.
I thought I was going to be in the minority with this, but I feel the same way. I was like, yeah, making an example of her wasn't really a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was okay. Yeah. I mean,
it obviously sucks to be the person being made the example of.
Exactly.
But I think also if you're a judge and you're in a legal situation with such a high profile person, there's going to be a lot of people breathing down your neck to handle it properly. And probably to make an example, because there's going to be a lot of media coverage. You don't want your judicial system to look like a joke.
Exactly.
The way Paris Hilton, you know, just got to waltz out of jail after like
and
a
that
day
judge
or two.
was like, that's not going to be me.
Yeah, and
Right.
exactly. And I kind of don't blame him. Yes, it probably sucked for her to be in a cell next to the person that robbed her. But I'm sure that's not the first person that something like that has happened to.
Yeah.
No special treatment for anybody. You break a law, you go to jail. That's just what happens.
she doesn't seem to understand that. She still doesn't seem to get that.
Yeah, and I think it all goes back to like she wants people to have sympathy on her because people have given her what she wanted, and when she's in a situation where people are firm with her, she's like, well, I hate them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like you. Why are you doing this to me? Go away.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel that way too if I was in a situation. I'd be like, why are you doing this to me? But you can have sympathy, but I also am like, Lindsay, get it together.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you're being put away.
She was in jail. It was very, very interesting to hear about being in jail from her perspective.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
She's very candid about it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was good.
She's starting to get it, that a comeback means you need to be honest and prove that you're making an honest effort to change.
Yeah.
So good for her. Good for you, Linz. All right, well, on that note, I guess we'll see you all next week, and let's see what sort of craziness relapsing might happen.
More Dina, please. That's my request.
Yes.
More Dina.
Do you have any requests for next week?
I just want to see, I don't know, I really like the way this episode went. I'm enjoying seeing Lindsay in, real time and getting to see her. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah. More Dina, more everything. I want to see more of the personal assistant. I think he seems like he's a secret agent. I love him.
Yeah.
Okay, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Kylie Hodges. How about you, Graham?
You can find me on Twitter at Grant Michael R and Instagram.
It's Grant, not Graham, guys.
It's all good.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at @TheFrancisco, or you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Francisco Thurston.
And tune in next week. Thanks for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.